So it is confirmed officially that Sean Dyche is now in charge of Forest and will lead out Forest in its first game against Porto on Thursday. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are doing well. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new, as Forest have been running the PR machine this morning. So I'm going to take you through all the details. Apparently there's loads coming with him, and let me know how you're feeling as well. Make sure you check out the sponsor, OK Jersey. Get your football tops for £15 plus 8% off if you use code FFTV. Scan the QR code or click on the link. Right, let's jump straight into it, guys, and let's start with what Forest have said. Forest is delighted to confirm the appointment of Sean Dyche as the club's new head coach, following a thorough recruitment process led by global head of football Edu and global technical director George Cyrinos. The former youth Forest player joined the club on a contract running until the summer of 2027. And will take charge of his first match on Thursday night as the Reds take on FC Porto in the Euro. Dyche will be joined by his experienced coaching team of Ian Wone and Steve Stone, both former Forest players who together made more than 400 appearances for the Reds during the 90s. A respected and experienced Premier League manager, Dyche brings the perfect blend of character, tactical acumen, and proven achievement to guide a club through its next chapter. Proven achievement. Having managed more than 330 Premier League matches. Wait, what? Why wouldn't you say more than 300? If you're going to say 330, you might as well put the actual number. In his career to date, Dyche has built teams defined by defensive organization, resilience, and strength from set pieces, quality that align closely with the current squad's attributes and the club's footballing identity. What utter crap am I reading here? As a former Forest youth player who lives locally, Dyche also has a deep understanding of the values and pride of Forest and its supporters. With his character, tactical acumen, and man management skills, his appointment represents the best opportunity for a successful and competitive season across both domestic and European competitions. The PR machine is in full spin and full flow. When the hell have Forest ever come out and broken down how their appointment process was done? When? So they've outlined who recruited him and why they've done it. Like this PR spin here is frankly pathetic. As a former youth player who played no games, which they failed to add, Dyche also has a deep understanding of the values and pride of Forest. So obviously that's the standard PR spin that all players get told to say when they sign for Forest. With his character, tactical acumen. What tactical acumen? Now, what this is as well is an admission of low block football. That's what it is, and I'll tell you why. Where is it? Where's it gone? Where's that bit that said in line with our ethos? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? His appointment is I can't see it. I'm just blinded right now. There it is. There it is, right here. The club's football identity. The club's football identity. So this is where I take issue. Okay, forget Dyche for a minute. Forget Dyche for a minute. The football identity in the summer was meant to be possession-based, bringing these players who are technically, astute. And what happened to that? No, the club's identity, which I agree with, the club's identity has always been counter-attacking football, right? But this is basically an admission that Forest messed up. Okay, now, like, we know they messed up with Ange. Anyway, Forest have done so much more. So let me just bring you some other stuff. Okay, so they've got this as well. Now, this makes me happy. Steve Stone and Ian Woney and Stoney. Yeah, my childhood. Love them. We're delighted to announce that Steve Stone has also joined Forest coaching team, a fan favourite and proud academy graduate. Steve made over 200 appearances in the Garibaldi and brings his drive, experience and passion back to the City ground. I love that. I've got no issue. I love the fact that Stone and Wone are there. And then, yeah, they got a Wone one as well. We're delighted to welcome Ian Wone back to Forest as part of our coaching team. A Forest icon, Ian made over 200 appearances. 200 appearances for the Reds, and now returns to bring his passion, experience, and winning mentality back home. Man, and like, he had such a better crop of hair back in the day. But anyway, so that's that. What else have they said? Yeah, here comes the nostalgia pictures. I told you he had great hair. Stone, not so much. Billy Mercer. Billy Mercer's back. He didn't even play a game for Forest, did he? We're delighted to welcome Billy Mercer to Forest as our new goalkeeping coach. Billy brings a wealth of experience, not from Forest, having worked with some of the Premier League's top goalkeepers in recent years. Has he? I don't know. Yeah, bro. Like, depression gets people up early, bro. That's all I'm saying. Big up to Hooks. What other PR spin have they put out? So they've done that. Okay, so that's the PR spin from Forest. Right. Let's talk about this. Now, Forest are basically admitting that they're happy with 17th today. That's what they've done. Is Dyche going to win games for Forest? Yes. Is Dyche going to win the Europa League? No. Is Dyche going to make Forest boring to watch? Yes. Like, this is it. This is just, here's how I read this. This is pressing the pause button on Forest. That's all it is. Big up to Jordy Mick. He goes, my deepest condolences, Wolfie. Thank you, bro. I appreciate the sentiment. Thank you for the £2. So look, as I was saying, this is the pause button being pressed on Forest season, because you know what, the length of the contract ain't that long. He's gone in the summer. When you getting Everton Mike on, I'm doing a recording with him this evening. What are you basing your bollocks off, Wolfie? Well, if you listen, then I'll tell you. So they'll press the pause button because he's not going to win the Europa League. He's not going to get us higher than 12th, maybe. And it's just a pause, and then we get silver in the summer. I haven't given up. What I've given up on is the objectives that Forest set out less than 5 weeks ago. Let's be real here. The objectives from 5 weeks ago have been ripped up, and it's like, all right, cool, let's just stay in the Premier League. Simon, would you have just taken 12 5 weeks ago? Let's see what you guys are saying. I've no doubt he'll grind out results, but that's the point. We have a squad to do more than just grind the results. Man, thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam. Prepare for Yates starting every game with 30% possession. I don't want him. Sorry. This is exactly what I'm trying to say. This is not what this squad was designed to do. £250 million spent to finish 17th and be happy. To be fair, your attitude sucks. Hard to like your energy today, bro. I'm tired and I've just woken up. Wolfie, I often really respect your views. However, this is not stupid PR spin. The explanation is totally necessary after the failure with Postecoglou. Thankfully, Siriannis overruled Edu and Mancini. You can agree or disagree with my views, bro. I have no problem with that. Yeah, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend on how I feel about it. And surely, you guys can respect that, because I could sit here and be like, fantastic appointment, exactly what I think Forest need and what have you. And because I've agreed with what you guys are saying, please do hit the like button and all this stuff, man. You know what? If I'm wrong, cool. I'm not. Here's my stance on where I stand with Dyche. I basically have no expectations, so that actually makes his job easier for him. If Dyche goes on a run in the Europa League, I'll be pleasantly surprised. Okay, I've heard a lot of this stuff about, oh well, Sean Dyche has never had a squad. That's good. He now does. So let's see what he does with this squad. Cool. Okay, let's see it. I'm the simple position of I need to be impressed. That's what I need to be. It's his job is now to impress me. Yeah, exactly. I do want to be wrong. But don't define what wrong is. That's the key thing. Big up Richard. He goes, how can this be 60%? Where are the brains? Sing. This is a right appointment. It depends on your outlook. If you're happy with 17th, thank you for the £5. If you're happy with 17th, then yeah, this is definitely the right appointment. If you are willing to hold the clubs to the standards they set at the start of the season, then this is not the right appointment. It's as simple as that. Now, there is a full breakdown that I just want to go through with you guys on. Excuse me. I think it's important we go through this. Now, I haven't seen all the details here, so let's just go through this. Let me just tidy it up a little. We got 600 of you awake at this time of day. Shout out to you guys, but only 87 likes. So do me a quick favor. If you want to see the football animation, just quickly hit that like button now. Take you all of 2 seconds. Let's just make this a little bigger so that we can kind of read through it together. Right. So this is an interesting breakdown of everything that's happened at Forest. I think it's important we go through it. Well, just hold your thoughts a second, side, because I'm about to go through this. Okay. So why Nottingham Forest chose Sean Dyche over Roberto Mancini and Marco Silva? That title on its own makes my asshole pucker up. It really does. Okay. Sean Dyche will not need to book a removal van following his appointment as Nottingham Forest head coach. Yes, because we are Make-A-Wish Foundation. Unlike predecessor Ange Postecoglou, who had only moved into a flat nearby a few days ago before he was sacked at the weekend, the new manager in charge already has a home within walking distance of the City ground. That's a positive. So our carbon footprint will be reduced. Dyche, who signed the contract until 2027, has also been known to occasionally frequent a few of the pubs across Nottingham Castle, not far from the famous Robin Hood statue. The prospect of the 54-year-old having a peaceful drink just have got more difficult. However, with the latest job, certain to raise his profile even further around the area. Where Dyche lives, of course, was not a consideration in his appointment. It's surprised me. I would assume it was. Hold on, let me just move this slightly. It's giving me a little OCD. 1 sec. Let's give a little space here. Yeah, that's better. Where Dyche lives, of course, not a consideration in his appointment. Even if his history as a former Forest Youth Academy player might not have done him any harm. While it has only been a matter of days since the club parted company with Postecoglou, the search for his replacement has been a thorough one. The early September appointment of the Australian was born in part, at least, out of his existing relationship with Forest owner Marinakis. The Greek shipping magnate was hiring somebody he already knew when he looked to fill the void left by Nuno's departure 3 games into the season. A foundation of mutual respect and friendship, it turns out, was not enough for Postecoglou, who only lasted 39 days in the job, the shortest tenure of any Premier League manager, before being ushered out the exit following the 8th game out of 8th without a win. I swear Sam Allardyce at Leeds was less than that. Anyway, having previously made the 2 most significant managerial appointments of Forest's modern era, Cooper and Nuno, Marinakis can be forgiven for getting one wrong. He was a significant influence in the hiring of Postecoglou, a man he had got to know through their shared Greek heritage and love of the game. But having recognized that appointing the former Australian Celtic and Spurs manager was a mistake, Forest have done everything in their power to avoid making another. While Dyche was already on the shortlist for the job during the month's international break before the 3-0 defeat by Chelsea in the first game of the window, he was not the only name on it. In the past few days, there's been a thorough process to decide who would be the best match for both the club and the situation they will inherit. One in which Marinakis has sought the counsel of others. The search has been led by Global Head of Football Edu and Cyrinos, so that's been confirmed as well by the Forest statement. It has involved numerous meetings, intense analysis of Dyche's data profile as a manager, and the study of numerous games he has been in charge of at Burnley and more recently Everton. What the fuck were they watching? His profile is similar to Nuno in some key senses. Dyche's sides have traditionally defended their own penalty area with genuine quality, something that became a trademark under the Portuguese last season. That defensive resolve was lost in the brief Postecoglou era. While his Forest side conceded 20 times in 8 games. Is that true? Getting those qualities back has been seen as a priority amongst the decision makers at the club. But more than that, Dyche's data profile shows him to be a manager whose sides historically counterattack with real pace and purpose. What is this rubbish? Everton had 0 pace with Dyche. So what was that real pace in the counterattack? Again, that was viewed as a key asset by Forest, even though they sold winger Elanga to Newcastle United in the summer. Forest have assembled a squad that contains numerous players with match-turning speed. Have we? Dyche is a different manager to Nuno, but he is seen as somebody who can enhance and utilize many of the qualities that were the foundations of the side that finished 7th in the Premier League last season. Much thought has been given to the style that would best match up to the players Forest already have. Not least because there will be little room for another major overhaul of the squad in this season's winter window, given that almost 200 million investment they made to sign 13 players in the summer. Okay. I hear you, Dan. I hear you, but let's just finish it off. According to sources close to the club who wish to remain anonymous to protect relationship, Dyche impressed in his initial meeting with the club officials. I heard complete opposite. He is seen as somebody who knows the demands of the Premier League very well and a manager who will bring discipline, organization, and an end to Forest's recent painful fragility at defensive set pieces. That bit I do agree with. During the examination of Dyche's previous games, that set-piece organization was a particular area of focus, along with how his teams have defended more generally. They found a reassuring similarity to what was seen under Nuno. Like the Portuguese, it felt that Dyche will give Forest a clear identity again. So because for 39 days, Ange Postecoglou told the Forest players, don't worry about defending. Like any new manager coming in would not have been able to organize a defense. Organizing a defense isn't hard, man. Take them off zonal. Don't put freaking 10 men in the 6-yard box. Anyway, Dyche worked wonders at Burnley, leading them to the most successful period in their history, including 6 consecutive seasons on the top flight and a 7th place finish in 17-18 that earned a Europa League spot. Though they were then beaten in the playoff tie by Marinakis and Olympiacos, missed out on the competition's group stage phase. So he qualified them for Burnley and did naffle with them. Didn't even get to the group stages. Defensive coaching is seen as a key asset for Dyche, as Forest look to ensure, in the short term at least, that this season does not become a fight against relegation. Two of Dyche's coaching staff, Awoniyi and Stoney, are Forest legends. All three are key men in the dugout going forward, will fully understand the traditions and expectations, blah, blah, blah. Friendships, is there anything actually relevant here? Okay, here we go. Forest also took a serious look at the out-of-work Roberto Mancini during the process, as well as considering Fulham's Marco Silva. Marco Polo, a man who has been on their radar for some time, having previously worked under Marinakis at Olympiacos, but the release clause in his contract, which the Athletic reported on Monday as being in the region of 15 million. That's gone up from like 7 to 8 to 10 to... was viewed as prohibitive. Forest have been long-term admirers of the coach, who has restored the West London club's fortune, and have considered him as an option previously, but Fulham's hierarchy have told Silva their desire to renew his contract. Dyche is seen as a long-term appointment at Forest, dispelling any possibility of giving someone the job on a short-term basis before pursuing Silva next summer. Why did I read that line? Why? Contact was made with Mancini. Okay, let's see the Mancini bit. Who is somebody Forest view as a serial winner. That's because he does win things. The Italian-led Man City, he had previously won, Forest were also drawn to Mancini's track record of producing sides with a strong defense, discipline, outlook. Yes, that is what he does. And in the immediate aftermath of Postecoglou's departure, he was the man they initially favored. Freaking Edu and Siriannis, man, what are you doing? You initially favored him. That was probably Marinakis favoring. He was seen as somebody who would be a statement appointment, someone with a track record that suggested he was capable of leading them to European success. Yes. Early conversations were positive and gave Forest encouragement, but their research will also have revealed the challenges that will come with employing a 60-year-old Italian. Don't be ageist. As former goalkeeper Shay Gibbons said on 5 Live, it was very volatile under him. He was very fiery. That is probably a nice way of putting it. I am picturing him and Marinakis in a room, and I'm not getting dimmed lights and candles. I'm getting the vibe of absolute carnage. It does not feel like a perfect fit. It feels like the opposite of it. Mancini would start fires everywhere at City. He would be fighting with the bus driver, the kit man, whoever wanted to fight. He would fight with them. That's because have you seen how great shape he's in? Mancini does have something significant in common. Marinakis, a first desire to win that might well have led to harmonious. And this is so long. So long. All right, there's the end of it. Dyche has already made some in Nottingham. Okay, so that gives you the backgrounds on how Forest got to where they got. So basically, what that said, especially at the end, I thought the end was interesting, is Forest wanted a yes man. Dyche is a yes man. Dyche is a yes man. Look, I've given you guys my opinion on it. Just let me give a massive shout out to the lovely Jess with the 3 coffees. She says, can't believe this. Why is this happening? Why Dyche? Okay. Let's read your messages. So where we are. No, mate, get a grip of yourself and support the new manager. You're a so-called Forest supporter, so do your job and support your team, you muppet. Okay, so where have I said I've stopped supporting my team? This is the thing, right? So suddenly you can't give an opinion to say that you wouldn't want this manager. But yeah, at the same time, it's okay if someone wants to say, "Oh, I wouldn't want this player." It's like, how does that make sense? So I can not want a player at Forest, but I can't not want a manager at Forest. And by de facto, if you don't want the manager to be appointed at Forest, that necessitates what? It just makes no sense. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, Brett, me and you get on all right, man. Me and you get on all right. But my point still stands on it. I think Mancini and Edu would have locked horns regularly. Yeah, but I don't see a problem with that. I don't see a problem with that, Dave, because I don't want a yes man in charge. I don't want a yes man in charge. Yeah, don't worry, I've already booked Everton Mike in. What I will say is, you guys all, for those of you who know Everton Mike, most of you should do, right? You should not watch it if you don't want to hear the home truths about Dyche. Okay, now let's be real. Dyche coming to okay, here's me gonna be positive for those of you who are desperate to hear some positivity. Dyche, and this is utter bollocks. Okay, so I was one of the only few that was over the moon when Nuno came in. I backed Nuno for his whole tenure. I had no issues with what Nuno did on the pitch. My issues were with what he did off the pitch. You don't call out your owner like you did. You deal with it behind the scenes. Don't air out your public laundry, and then you have to go. Just to show, like, let's just use some logic here. Let's just say Nuno was in charge, and let's say, let me think of a player. Let's say Chris Wood came out and did a press conference and said, "Do you know what? I haven't spoken to..." No, not Chris Wood is playing. Who'd be a player that wasn't playing? Let's say Sangare. Let's say Sangare. Sangare comes out and does a presser. And he says, "I'm fully recovered from my injury. I haven't played in a month. And Nuno hasn't spoken to me. He's been focusing on the other 15 players that are playing. I am, relationships are not the same as they were last year." Is that okay for a player to do that to a manager? Come out and do a press on that? Of course not. So the same thing. I know Sangare played. I'm just using him as an example, right? Like, Chris Wood was obviously a mainstay in the team last season. So how is that? So if it's not okay for the player to do that, then it's not okay for the manager to do it at the owner. There's sensible ways of doing it. You speak behind the scenes, you get on with it. Yeah, and also the West Ham fans really don't like him after yesterday. Yeah, Nuno subs are terrible, but that wasn't a reason to sack him. Most manager subs are terrible, by the way. Okay. So anyway, I was saying something before this, right? So me being positive, I will allow Sean Dyche, say allow, like I have to say, but I'm happy to say to Sean Dyche, you go and show me that you are not that manager from Everton. You are not that manager who played 17 games last season and won 2. Also, go and beat Bournemouth for me. That would put a smile to my face. Do you know what? That would take him 60% of the way to making me happy and liking him. Thank you. And Paul's a Spurs fan. Like, exactly. Like, anyone who thinks Nuno shouldn't have been sacked. Cool. Okay, you and Adam did some pure beef and like, oh man, Zidane, my dream that will never happen. Wolfie being positive. Someone called the TV. I'm struggling. By the way, how have I not been positive on Forest all summer? Bigging up the recruitment, bigging up what we did last year. But yeah, I'm negative. Also, What is wrong with someone being negative? What is fucking like society today? Now everyone must be happy with everything. Let's be happy with the prime minister. Let's be happy with, you know, the crises that are going on in the world and everything else. No, let's all just be happy. But how dare anyone air an opinion that goes against the grain and the narratives that people have been saying? I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. But show me how I'm going to be wrong. I'm toxic and negative. All right, cool. Stop spamming, bro, or you'll just get blocked. Like, you can type it once. I'm okay. You've done it again. Final warning. Let's see. Let's see if he does it again. Too many happy clappers should be allowed your opinion. Exactly, man. Happy clappers can happy clap, right? Happy clappers can happy clap. By the way, Wolfie, we spent 200 million during the window, yet we still don't have a half decent winger or a backup fullback. Yeah, there were definite holes in our recruitment, bro. I'm not denying that at all. But my point is, bro, I know you're joking, but you don't need to spam. You don't need to spam. Spamming just annoys every YouTuber. Every YouTuber. But there were holes. There were holes. And with the hole, my point is, even with the holes, Forest are a top 10 squad. And I don't really care. Whereas Forest are a top 10 squad. What Forest are admitting today is that Forest are happy with 17th. And I don't agree with that philosophy. And I'm surprised if Marinakis does as well. I think this appointment shows you want to survive. You know what, Hooks, bro? This is why I love you, man. This is why I love you, bro. This is exactly the point I just made. It's exactly the point I just made. He's here now, mate. Nothing to be gained by saying you don't want him. No. There is, Simon. There is. I'm saying I don't want him. Now let him go and prove to me that everything I've said about him is incorrect. And let him go and prove to me that he's not going to do to us what he did to Everton last season. And by the way, me being correct on Sean Dyche is Forest finishing in the bottom half of the table, playing utter shite football. I get having opinions before a manager is appointed or when a manager is close to being sacked. What, you can't have an opinion on a manager in that space in between? Come on, Si, what are you doing here, bro? How can Wolfie be happy about getting the Dyche? Exactly. And the happy clappers think this is ambitious. Why are we panicking? Look, I am telling you that there will be a sect of the fan base that are heavily excited because if they're of my age of, 23 years old, Awoniyi and Stoney were fantastic, right? Awoniyi's free kicks, Awoniyi's long distance goals were fantastic. Steve Stone's like grit and work and everything on the right side of fantastic. There is that nostalgia. There is that nostalgia. Do you know what? I'd have been happier with both of them being put as manager. And I guarantee, and I know because I've spoken to my Forest mates that are of my age, and they're all saying the same thing. They've all said, you know what? They got me with Stone. They got me with Stone. Like, they're talking about Stone and not Dyche, okay? So I hear it. And I get it because I loved Ian White. Ian White was probably in my top 5 all-time Forest players, right? In my lifetime. But Ian White, if I look at it objectively, Stuart Pearce is in my top 5. Stuart Pearce, and shout out to Stuart Pearce and his family going through a devastating moment right now. Okay, but Stuart Pearce was a better player than he was a manager for us. Compared to the Everton and Burnley, this squad is equipped. Okay, so with this, and I've heard this a lot, what does that mean? If he finished 7th with a Burnley squad, 7th, okay, so with a better squad, does that mean he should finish higher than 7th? And if we want to roll that to Everton, he finished 15th with Everton and 16th with Everton. So if he finished 15th or 16th this season, has he failed? Has he failed? Yeah, let's can we get 8 more likes? We're on 192 likes, so 700 in here. And just check out, it's still doing that football animation when you hit the like button. So give it a quick hit. Did I miss a super chat? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Okay, so look, let me just tell you about what's coming up today. So we got Grumpy Old Reds at 7 tonight. I'm gonna be doing a pre-record with Everton Mike at 6. I'll release that afterwards. It might be tomorrow morning, actually. Might be tomorrow morning. But I'll have that in there. Where am I getting 7 from? Where did he finish with Burnley? Everton had a shit squad. I think he'd failed if he does not get top 10 and Europa last 16. You see, I respect that, sci-fi. I respect that. I say that's a good minimum standard to hold him to. I don't think he can do that, though. I don't think he should do that. Yeah, there is an argument for that, Adam, 100%. It'll be nice to see Steve Stone and Ian Wone. We'll be back at Forest. The relive relegation time. Oh no! Don't forget they were part of the squad that finished third as well. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget Ian Wone's free kick, long range shot against Newcastle, and let's not forget his free kicks against Spurs. They were all beautiful. Big up to a German chicken wing from Nuno to Ange Dyche's nasty work. Yeah, I agree. Did someone say you're gonna put a leash on Ant tonight? Are you gonna gag Ant tonight? I will try and control him, but you know what, man? Like, the whole point of this channel is have your opinions. Like, why am I gonna gag an opinion because someone doesn't agree with an opinion? Here's a point. Dyche has been watching Forest closely for a while now. I think he gets an idea of what's been going on and what needs to be done. Yeah, but Daniel, like, every single person in this chat has been watching Forest closely. Like, we all know what needs to be done. We're not going to put ourselves in charge of Forest. We're not. Wolfie, I remember what? I remember when we didn't want Cluffy coming out. We said for me. I wasn't born, but I have heard that as well, obviously from like past managerial appointments and what have you. But please, bro, let's not compare Sean Dyche to Cluffy. Like, please, bro. I love you, but come on. Yeah, I'll make sure he doesn't swear. That I agree with you on. I agree with you on. And can say what he wants, free speech. I hear it. You can't compare us to Everton. Their best player was their goalkeeper. Dyche is a mirror of Nuno. He's better than Silva. He's not, Nick. And Silva spelled Silva, bro. Love you there. Dyche is a Liverpool fan. Yes, he is. Exactly. While I disagree with you on your depression on Dyche, I respect your openness to different opinions. And I'll stand by that, Pete. I'll stand by that. Like, I don't know, but there probably are channels that call out. Like, I won't ever call someone out for having. I won't ever say, like, let's say Pete is backing Dyche, right? And by the way, I am backing Dyche. I don't want Dyche, but I'm backing him. You get me, right? But if Pete was to say to me now, Dyche is the best manager Forest could have appointed, I would fully disagree with him. And I would say why I disagree with him. But I wouldn't turn around to Peter and say, Peter, you are not a Forest fan because you don't agree with my opinion. You're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Because who am I to tell anyone how they are meant to think? And then I saw comments yesterday from the videos saying, oh, mate, you've got over 33,000 subscribers. You need to talk positive about this. You need to talk. I know you're not, bro. I know you're not. I know you're not. I was just joking with you. But yeah, they say you need to talk positive about this to unite the fan base. Okay, that's not my job. In fact, this isn't even my job. This is just a channel on YouTube. Okay. All I come on here to do is, one, give my opinion, and two, more importantly, let you guys have your opinion without someone censoring you. Yeah, exactly, Pete. Exactly, Pete. So, like, why let someone censor you? You sounded just like Ant. That was a good Ant impression, but without the swearing. Without the swearing. I agree. Like, I think it would be more disingenuous if I came on here and was like, right now, Dyche is appointed. I retract everything I said about the reasons why I don't think he is the right man to take us forward. He is the right man to kind of keep us in situ. But you know what? Everything I said now that he's been appointed is null and void, because it's not. I watch his Forest channel because it's honesty, like I watch Sava on Spurs. Big up to Sav as well. He's been fucking messaging me. My opinion is you're more interested in viewing figures than supporting the football club. Well, that's your opinion, bro. If that was the case, I would just sit here raging on every video I do. I don't think I've raged. I think I raged at Gibbs-White's mistake the other week against Newcastle. I guess that would have been the last time I raged on this channel. Negativity sells more than positives. I mean, I'm not selling anything. You lot are sitting here watching for free. Well, apart from the members, shout out to the members. Big up my members. They'll all be in TBI by midday. Nuno doing well at Shiteham. Yeah, exactly. To be fair, I think he wins against Porto and the fans will get behind him. I'd love that. I would love nothing more than a Porto win, a boring mouth win, and a Man U win. You know what? Here's my positivity for you. Okay. If he can get me a win against boring mouth and a win against Man U, I'm back. I'm gonna say, you know what? Sean Dyche has started beautifully, and maybe he's not come in as the same Everton manager that scares the crap out of me. That's what I'm saying. I'll be happy with that. But at the same time, I won't lie to you guys. If we lose to Porto, then lose to Boring Mouth. I mean, Boring Mouth is whatever, right? We're gonna lose that one. And then if we lose to Man U, then you will see me get angry because I hate them. And then who we got after that? We got Leeds after that, I think. Yeah, but that's my point, Scott. If he does something that Dyche couldn't do, that Nuno couldn't do, that Cooper couldn't do, like then you got to give him credit for that. That's my point. What are you doing awake at this time? What you've just seen that now? Wake up, bro. Porto flying, yeah, but Porto flying in the Portuguese league, man. You know, it's not great. Shut up, man. Shut up. We're just in free fall. Wouldn't surprise me if we went back to the championship soon. We're not going to the championship. This is what, like, the only person I guess who could possibly have relegated us would have been Ange Postecoglou. The way it continued. Oh, we got Sturm Graz in between. Oh my god, man. Big up, all boxed up. Great channel, Wolfie from a Leeds fan. Big up to you, bro. And I'm sure you already subscribed to Joe, who's the best Leeds channel. Thank you so much for the £2. Just tuned in. I've double dosed on Ultramax Hopium, enhanced with dual action copium, aka rolled another fat one. Bro, I hear it. And I respect it. Thursday night game, Porto will win that, I guarantee. Even though I'm a Forest fan, we're going to be knocked out of the Europa League. Even if we lose to Porto, it doesn't matter too much because there's still like easier games coming in. Let me ask you a question. Big up to Paul with the super sticker. It's not showing on there, the 149. Actually, if I no, it won't work there either. But thank you So much for this action. There you go. There you go. Let's put it up there. Little burger there. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Okay. If you could only have one win in the next week, would you rather have a win against Porto or Boring Mouth? Put P or B in the chat. Put P or B in the chat. They just asked me to pin something. Wolfie, can you pin this video at all? I want to see how much you will backtrack at the end of the season. I mean, you can just go to the channel and search Dyche Appointed on the home screen. All right, a lot of B's, a couple of P's here. P and B. Correct answer. Correct answer. But I told you can only have one. Dyche is a better fit than Mancini. He understands the club's fans and knows this whole understands the clubs and fans. You know who's a real big Forest fan from Nottingham? Brucey. My mate Brucey. Shout out to Brucey. He understands the club. He understands the fans. He knows the players as well. Should we put Brucey in charge? Rapper extraordinaire. I would take that. Look, Porto are a good team, but they're not the team. They're not the team. We need you going back on NAF on the back of a good unbeaten run in the coming weeks. Yeah, man, I'll just take a win right now. Is this guy mixed race? If not, why is bro talking black and ting? So that's a bit racist. And my makeup of my races is well documented on this channel. So go back and watch some videos. Sean Dyche will get you to survive, but won't get you into top 10. I agree with that. As long as you leave Leeds alone. Well, we got you in a couple of weeks, haven't we? Okay, so look, that's the news. I'm gonna go do some actual proper work. The main job. No, Soph. I don't know, man. I don't know. So let's do this. Let's make some predictions, right? Now Sean Dyche is appointed. Where do you think Forest are gonna finish? And are we winning any silverware? So I'll give you guys some spoiler alerts. I'm saying Forest will finish 12th under Sean Dyche and win Jackal. What's your day job? Self-employed? No, I work for the man. 10th, 12th, 10th plus Europe. 19th, 14th. Rob, you're agreeing with me. Top 10 FA Cup winners, Europa last four might win it. 18th mid-table, 16th, 15th. Wait, how is some of you saying 15th and 16th? But you've been telling me that Dyche with a good squad should fly. 12th, about right, to be honest, and Dyche ain't winning Europa, unfortunately. Yeah, I agree. 14th and quarters, says Keith. 10th, 11th. 8th quarterfinals of Europa, says Nick. At least we'll be playing a proper system. I reckon 9th. By the way, putting 11 men behind the ball is not a proper system. It's not a proper system. Stone Cold to finish rock bottom. That's good. Can't be 12th. That's Palace spot. Yeah, that's fair point. Where are the goals coming from? Long balls and corners. We'll score more corner goals. It will be bottom of the Premier League with Sean Dyche. Will be bottomless. We won't finish in the bottom three. 9th and last 16th. Silver in June. I don't think silver's coming based on that Athletic article. Richard's saying relegation, man. Steve Stone might get the wingers ticking. Yeah, maybe. I hope so. Parking the bus is the system. That's not a system. That's not a system. Yeah, big up to you, Sean. Big up to you. Okay, so is there a poll? I think there's a poll in the chat. Okay, so we got the poll in the chat. 4% of you finished saying finishing top 8. Shout out to that 4% of you. I love you guys and your optimism. 46% are saying 9th to 12th, and 41% are saying 13th to 17th, and 8% are saying relegated. Wow. Very. So the majority thinks so technically speaking, 86% of you think anywhere from 9th to 17th. And I think that's a fair point. I think that's a fair point. I know, Sophie, man. Please stop depressing me. Please stop depressing me. Park the bus worked for Mourinho. No, it didn't. That was a different era of football, and he had different players back then. Hope players, Buckeye ideas all need to improve. Look, what I will say is these players are getting away with murder. And I've said it all week, but I think this point needs to be re-emphasized. I will also add as well, if we suddenly see a squad of players that has the ability to score open goals from 2 yards out, then they need some serious words with them, because you can't just turn it on and off if you like or dislike the manager. That for me is frankly pathetic, if that's the case. Like, there's certain people in my job I can't stand who outrank me, but that doesn't mean I'm like, right, well, I'm not doing my job because you told me to do it and I don't like you. But for someone else, it's like, well, I like you. You said it nice and you said please at the end. I'm going to do your job. Do your job. Do your job. Okay? It doesn't matter if you like the person who manages you or not. Wolfie's day job is to talk shite. Correct. And people pay me for that. Just support the manager and the team and drop the pitchforks after everything we've just been through with Ange. I don't have any pitchforks out. Show me where in the stream I've had pitchforks, but because I say I would have gone with someone else, apparently that's a pitchfork. What's all this crap? Top 17, we are relegated back to the championship with us Forest fans, says Richard. Concerned for all the speaking players, how they're going to feel. For all the speaking players, what? How are they going to feel with the squad now? Big up, Hooks, man. Big up to you, Hooks. All right. I better get back to work. So, we'll be on Grumpy Old Reds tonight at 7. I will, spoiler alert, you guys. I don't think a lot of the boys are Dyche in. I'm going to try and find some people that are Dyche in just to try and get some balanced opinions. If none of them are free tonight, then you know what? I will be the Dyche inner just for the sake of balance on the argument. Right, I'm going to send you over to who's live? George. Just tell George he's ugly. Just everyone type ugly in George's chat. Okay, so just go spam ugly. I will see you tonight at 7. Please make sure you've hit the like button. Please make sure you subscribed. I'll see you then. Come on, you Reds. Go type ugly. Ugly.